This is the third in your career series. The first was Peter Drucker's Managing Oneself, making yourself better as a manager and as a person so that you can work effectively. The next one was Your Career, the Effective Executive. This also was by Drucker, and it speaks to how do you make yourself a better executive, building on managing oneself. So now that you've managed yourself and you become an effective executive, how do you get that job? Often the problem people have is they start with calculus and complexity and they don't go back to simplicity. This is like a chessboard. Turn it around and ask yourself, well, if I were hiring somebody, what would I want? It's very simple. First, you want somebody to show up. That's important. Secondly, you want them to do what the job is. That's also important. And the third is you don't want to hear them whine and complain. Now those are three elements: showing up, doing what's required, and not complaining. And as I look back on the thousands of people that have worked for me over the years, I can't think of anyone that really qualified under those three aspects I had much trouble with. But let's say I had trouble with 5 to 10% and I've overlooked them. They're in the 90% to keep their job. Why is that? I don't have to be their mother, the principal, or a state cop. I don't have to fine them because they're late. I don't have to keep telling them they're supposed to do their job, not the job they want to do. And third, they don't complain and wear me out with their complaints. Now, what does this mean to you as a job candidate? It means the following. When you start to look for a job, always keep in mind that what that person is afraid of is they are going to mess up again and hire the wrong person. You think you have to be perfect. They just hope you're good enough. It doesn't matter how many job candidates there are. What you need to do is, like in chess, turn the board around and think about it. So say to yourself, how do you persuade somebody you'll show up? You can't just say you'll show up, but you can speak about your record at church in perfect attendance, your ability to go through college in 4 years, your ability to meet demands of some job in which you showed up and were not troublesome about it. The second thing is about doing the job. You have to be clear with people that you will do what they ask you to do and come back to them if you need help. And you will not do what you're not supposed to do. In other words, you want to basically say, look, give me a pile of work, I'll do the work. And the final thing is be a low-maintenance employee. You know, we talk about low-maintenance friends and spouses and all kinds of people. The low-maintenance person is perfect. And I remember a story I had in my stroller company. I had a woman who was single, who lived down the street from the factory, who always had problems. Then I had a woman who had 8 kids, a drunken husband, a difficult mother-in-law, who had to take 2 buses and always came to work and never complained. And what's interesting about that is everybody sets their own standards. And it doesn't hurt to illustrate your job interview with stories like that. That you understand the job is show up, do the work, don't complain. If you do those 3 things, you're well on your way to getting a good job and getting promoted in that job.